I'm here to sum up my 2022 in my favorite swap meet finds or flea market finds. And if you know that I love the flea market and I love coming up on random stuff, it is what this is all about, because the name Fresh from the Flea, if you understand it, if you ever stayed for these videos and you understand where my name comes from, Fresh from the Flea is fresh from the flea market. More than the thrift stores. Again, my roots lay in the flea market, as you can see from that picture. Just a baby. So if you could like, comment down one of your favorites, as well as that, subscribe to the channel if you want to see me keep growing, if I can. We are starting this off with one of my most jaw-dropping flea market find of this year, because I did come up on some 2003 Nike Supreme SBs at the swap meet way back when, and yes, they did sell off at round 2. Heading into this straight up, we got the MCM backpack that I literally found all dusty, but I did pay up for it. $100 right on the spot. It was one that I took a chance on. I already knew what I was looking at, everything legit checked, everything was checked out, but he wanted a steep price. But when I threw out that hundo, boom, he took it. As you can see from the pictures, how it looked compared to how it looks now, 180-degree turnaround, and it paid off. Yes, I do have it still in the collection, but if you understand that if you keep something nice, resale value on something like this goes far and beyond at any time, and that's what it's all about here. Again, that was my episode 447, and again, that's one of my favorite swap meet finds of 2022. After that, we got the vintage TNF Mountain Guide jacket. This one is in a Bumblebee colorway, the yellow and black pop, and we got a reference photo. Again, rest in peace ASAP Yams right there. Again, it's the most comfortable piece. I found one before in XL, and this one is actually a size large, and I kept it, and this one is still in the collection. I did pick it up, I believe 15 to 20 bucks. I didn't check completely on that one, but this one is the second one I found, and I was super happy to pick it up. If you want to check back, again, episode 448, it's not too far away. Now this one is from the same episode. This is episode 448. We got a Arc'teryx trucker cap, again, just like the Chrome Hearts one, a trucker cap, but the material is way different, and it's in this olive colorway. Again, it's still in the collection. I picked it up for $2 on the spot, and I love walking around and literally finding something that probably somebody, you know, passed by, didn't even really see it, because attention to detail is everything at the swap meet. You got to know what you're looking for. There are pieces out there that are just going to be blatantly popping in your face, but there are also things that you need to look for, and we'll get into that a little bit later into this video. Now onto that, we got episode 455, a awesome piece, literally what I was talking about, that attention to detail is everything, because I was going through some hats and I was literally jumbling around. I saw this blue camp cap, and it was a Supreme cap. I legit checked it on the spot, and it was 100% legit. It was a 2017 reflective camp cap, and yes, I do still have it in the collection. Super sorry, because sometimes you want to keep everything, but sometimes business calls. After that, we got episode 463, a 80s authentic Louis Vuitton, again, designer wear at the swap meet, found for the low. Again, this one was like 15 bucks, but everything checked out, and it wasn't 100%, and I did have to clean it up. I did have to do my due diligence on it to check it for telltale signs, and I did find a date code, and the date code was 862TH, and no, it doesn't stand for Tommy Hilfiger. The TH actually represents made in France, and the 86 is for 1986. The 2 is February, so it's February 1986, made in France, and it all checked out. Amazing. This one is going to be a big attention to detail on this piece, because I'm going to say in my episode 479, it meant everything. I was going through a box of stuff, and I'm talking about from hats to beanies to even sweaters, and it was a little dusty and dirty. I came upon that felt different. It did feel different. I'm going to tell you right now, it was a Gucci beanie at the swap meet for $1. I'm gonna call it the Gucci Essentials beanie, because it was literally plain. How it was flipped inside out. I couldn't see anything until I flipped it towards me and I saw the Gucci tag on the inside, the older Gucci tag. I have a monogram hat with the same tag, so I knew the year, and when I flipped it back, I saw that the side actually had a Gucci logo on it, and immediately I just asked the guy how much are the beanies. He said for $1, and I had to go get change. It was a whole thing, but I did get it and I did pick it up. The crazy thing about it and what I was feeling was that it was 70% silk, 20% wool, and 10% cashmere, and that is the whole thing, because I know about the Burberry scarves, I know the different feelings of it, but when I felt that beanie, it felt all good. And I did a little styling Gucci short, styling a Gucci, and I used it in there. So it is one that I have in the collection, and Gucci for $1, why not? Now to that, we got episode 485. We got Nike SB from 2011, black, white. Now, if this one was in more of a pristine condition, you're talking about maybe $1,000 on this Nike SB. But as I found it, it needs a redying. It needs some work on it. The swooshes were kind of scratched up. Again, nobody skated this one, but the walking in them and everything, it was a size 12. I think I got them for 15 bucks. It was literally a nice steal and awesome to find some Nike SBs. Just very happy when I found it. And as you know, SBs have been going crazy throughout the years. Now to that, we got episode 446. Now this one is a crazy piece because I knew from the box. Now the box was a weird one. This one's called a Gucci glossy box, and seeing that, I knew that there's some H to this. So I found it that it was earlier 2000s, and the reason why, because when I opened it up, it was a patent leather Gucci charm for a phone. And if you remember, charms for the phone were everything for those flip phones. So this one was coming from a year that's probably 2002, 2003, and it's just something that is part of growing up in the time of 2003, the Y2K time, is that phones were flip phones, and as phones were changing, the charms were kind of disappearing. So this one was cool. This one was a G479292, and on the box it had everything. The authentic card was in there, everything, and I got it for $5. So I scooped it up on the spot, and I was super happy to. And again, episode 446 did not disappoint at the flea market. Now to that, we got Nike SB Barbershop. This is episode 445, so it's one underneath the one I just talked about. And it was awesome coming up at the swap meets and the flea markets all the time, because it's just the attention is always there. You always gotta have it. And in this case, when I saw it, I knew what I was looking at, because I wish it was my size, but again, they did sell off. They were a smaller size. But what I love about the insoles, and I just got those Sandy SBs, where a lot of people have some mixed review on them, but if you understand the history and you understand the love that went into it and the legacy of who these are named after, it makes it all worthwhile. In this case, the barbershop did have this insole that was a little bit different. I liked it. It was literally, the shape of it is a swoosh in hair that has been shaved off, and you got the fly shaver clipper right on the top of it. It's just another insole like I like. I love Nike SB insoles. There's so many out there. Art, that's another hidden gem in those insoles. It's sad because some Nike SBs, you find them, there's no insoles in them, and I'm happy to say that I have found most of my SBs always have something in them, and that one was a steal for $5. Another one coming into the episode 448, we got the 90s Marlboro lighter. In this case, this lighter was not a lighter that you would consider to be kept. It's a disposable lighter, but the graphic on there and the colorway alone is amazing. It's still in the collection. These are smalls. If anybody knows what smalls are, these are items that are of value and that are of collectible value, and yet they are a tiny size. And a lot of people do overlook these things, but when I saw it, I knew what it was. I picked it up, and I do still have it in the collection. Now, last but not least, and I do want to talk about this one because finding this one at the time was awesome, but having it now and that I didn't sell it off is even more weight to it. And the reason why is that I got it for literally $1 on the spot. It's a 1994 Saban's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers White Ranger wristwatch. And this one does say Tommy under it. And if you know, rest in peace, Jason David Frank. You are missed, you are loved. And again, the loss of him to the community, hearing all this and seeing all it at first hand, it is very hard in this time. And I know that a lot of people deal with it, and that's why you are not alone in this. I'm just screaming out that because everybody's dealing with something. And in this case, he and that whole situation was a big heartfelt drop to hear that we have lost him. An amazing piece that I will probably forever have. So I just gotta say thank you all for watching. Again, the flea markets, the swap meets, the thrift stores, all of this, all these years of doing this, summing them up now, technically for the year, it's always a learning experience every day. Never stand still. Always get better. Always change. So with that, I'm just gonna say what I always say. Hit that sub button because more videos are coming. This was Mick from Fresh from the Flea.